Hi, my name is Michael James, and my friends call me the Grape Meister. I've been growing grapes and making wine for a number of years, and in this video series, I'd like to share those experiences with you.
In this video, I'm going to discuss the following material. I'm going to discuss simple winemaking, where to buy vines, basic supplies, the harvested grapes, additives to balance the juice, the fermentation process, and finally the finished product. Winemaking is not rocket science. Wine has been produced by amateurs and seasoned experts for years. The process is the same, regardless of your skill levels. By the way, winemaking is much easier than brewing beer because you don't have to boil the liquid. Before you can begin the process, there are a few supplies you're going to need. I've used MidwestSupplies.com and GreatStompers.com for my supplies. You'll need a container to crush the grapes and ferment the juice into wine. You're going to need bottling supplies. Depending on the quality of the juice, you might need yeast nutrients, peptic enzymes, acid blend, wine tannin, wine yeast, and Compton tablets. For a more detailed explanation on the usage of these specific additives, see my 121-page ebook at my website, www.totalwinesystem.com. There are two approaches to winemaking. The first approach is to grow your own grape stock and to use that stock to produce the juice that will eventually become your vintage wine. In previous videos, I've covered the planting and growing process, and if you start with about 60 pounds of disease-free grapes, you should be able to get 6 gallons of great-tasting wine. The second approach is to purchase the grape juice specifically designed for winemaking in 6-gallon batches. 6 gallons of grape juice will yield about 30 standard 750 milliliter bottles, as I mentioned before, and I actually employed both methods. I brought my juice from a supplier until my vineyard was producing enough grapes for my own winemaking. If you choose the first approach, you're going to have to crush the grapes into a pulp mixture. Most wine supply stores can provide you with several types of containers. I use a plastic bucket specifically designed for this process. Just place the grapes into the container and proceed. I use a potato masher to accomplish this, and if you're trying to produce the juice from a very large amount of grapes, you can use a wine press. However, it's a pretty pricey addition to your winemaking equipment unless you look at the convenience that it offers, and in some instances, if you're close to a winemaking store, you might even be able to rent it. It definitely cuts down on the time to crush your grapes. The crushed grape juice, skin, seeds, and stems are referred to as must, which means young wine. The solid portions of the must is called pomace, and it usually should be about 10 to 25% of the total weight of the must. Cover the basin or vat and let the grape pulp rest for 24 hours. Then add a wine-specific yeast such as Prix de Mousse to begin the fermentation process. During this time, you will see that the juice will begin to bubble. After a few more days, when the fizzle is gone, you can transfer the wine into a glass carboy after removing the solid pomace from the juice. Use a racking system to prevent excessive oxidation of the wine liquid, and you can do this by straining the mixture using cheesecloth or a fine mesh bag. Seal the carboy airtight and allow the fermentation process to improve the wine. The longer you ferment the wine, the better the quality it will be. There are a number of containers that you can use to age the wine. Glass, stainless steel, or even oak casks are appropriate. Once the wine has reached its peak, you'll be ready to bottle your result. There are numerous bottling supplies that can be obtained from the internet or your local winemaking supplier. You're going to need bottles, corks, and of course labels. I would suggest using a racking system similar to the one that you use to transfer your wine into the glass carboy. Fill the bottles to about a ½ inch from where the cork will be inserted into the neck of the bottle. Any more air than that and you're going to invite the wine to spoil as a result of oxidation. If you're bottling red wine, the wine will probably improve as it ages in the bottle. Prior to bottling, you should assess the sulfur dioxide levels in the wine. Sulfur dioxide is a natural antioxidant and acts as a preservative. There are several ways to test for these levels. My 121-page ebook has specific details on this aspect of winemaking. Red wines have natural antioxidants and therefore need very little sulfur dioxide additives. White and rosé wines have no natural antioxidants and therefore will need added sulfur dioxide depending on the test pH levels of the final wine prior to bottling.
For a free 10-part mini course on how to grow grapes and making your own wine, go to my website, www.totalwinesystem.com. Really, it's free. Why wait? Do it now.